Mirian wakes abruptly in her dorm room at Torrviol Academy, chest tight, with a heavy, unnameable sense of loss, her cheeks already wet with tears. She can just barely make out faint daylight from the cloudy sky. If she angles her head just right, Lily sits up, pushing her messy blonde hair back and settling her thick crystal-lensed glasses onto her nose. Glasses enchanted with tiny glyphs that let the nearly blind girl see. She squints at the hole in disbelief. They are on the first floor. How can there be a leak? Lily offers to go speak to housing staff that morning, skipping her botany review class so Mirian can focus on her brutal final year schedule and enchantments practical exam, her artifice design presentation, and the notoriously punishing Alchemistry 402 course. Mirian thanks her gratefully. Torrviol Academy is one of the oldest magic universities in the kingdom of Barakul, carrying centuries of heritage along with centuries of rigid, outdated rules. Students wear military-style uniforms color-coded by year. As a final-year student, Mirian's uniform is black and white with orange trim, brass buttons down the front, and gold cords draped over her shoulder pads. 6 years of study have been an uphill battle for her. Only artifice design and arcane mathematics come naturally. For every other subject, she pulls all-nighters in the library just to scrape by. She cannot remember the nightmare that jolted her awake, only the hollow, aching feeling it left behind. She is pushing so hard to graduate as an artificer for one reason. Her family, back home, their old, run-down house, is crumbling. Her little brother recently stepped through a rotted floorboard, and her parents could only afford either the healer's bill or the repairs. Becoming a professional artificer is the only way Mirian can see to pull her family out of poverty for good. After a quick breakfast of berries and porridge from the communal kitchen, Mirian wraps herself in her enchanted cloak and heads out into the rain. The campus is as picturesque as ever. Glowing sigil bees drift between flower beds, and the weathered marble dome of Croissant Hall and the blue, soaring spire of Torrviol Tower rise against the orange and violet sunrise. But she cannot stop thinking about that uncanny hole in her ceiling. Her thoughts are cut short by movement overhead. A dark, hooded figure leaps nimbly across the gap between two rooftops. It pauses, as if sensing it is being watched, and glances down directly at Mirian before vanishing from the edge of the roof. The figure wears no academy colors or insignia. It is not a student. Her quiet sobbing rouses her roommate Lily, who mumbles a concerned question from the next bed. Mirian reports the sighting to a campus guard standing in the plaza. The guard listens flatly, says he will pass the message along, and does not move from his spot. Frustrated and unsettled, Mirian heads to her first class. In Alchemistry 402, Professor Seneca leads the class through a full review of exam material, the classifications of mana flow, the 3 types of alchemical bonds, and stability rating scales. Mirian's neatly organized, color-coded notes catch the attention of Nicholas, a charismatic, wealthy classmate with a reputation for being at the center of campus social drama. After class, he leans over to compliment her notes and invites her to study with him and his personal tutor, Sire Nuria March. The day's strange events keep piling up. In Myrvite Ecology 351, Professor Mirian demonstrates a ruby variety of regal cordyline, a magical plant that bursts into a blazing golden crown of light when a leaf is plucked, hot enough to severely burn an unprotected arm. Mirian lies and says it was just a bad dream, trying to choke back the emotion. After class, Mirian spots a second hooded figure slipping down the restricted corridor leading to the Myrvite kennels. To her shock, Valen, her sharp-tongued rival in the artificer track, has seen it too. They go together to report it to Professor Viridian, but he reacts with surprising calm and little urgency. The afternoon enchantments exam turns into a total disaster. The test requires students to inscribe 24 runes in 1 hour. Midway through, the girl sitting next to Mirian miscasts her spell, sending a force wave that slams into Mirian's workstation. Her pen flies across the room. Her magical ink splatters everywhere, and the rune she was carving is completely ruined. The strict, unforgiving Professor Eld refuses to listen to any explanation. He berates Mirian loudly in front of the whole class, and she leaves the exam room humiliated, convinced she has failed. Her artifice design presentation is the one small bright spot of the day. Then a single cold drop of rain lands directly on her chest, seeping through her nightgown. Her force turban device, built from cheap scrap materials, looks plain and unimpressive next to her classmates' elaborate pieces made with silver, filigree and crystal cores. She stumbles nervously through her explanation. But Professor Torres, who once helped design military-grade spell engines, praises her clever, cost-effective design approach and passes her on the spot. It is the only good news she gets all day. After her final arcane mathematics lecture, Miriam meets Nicholas and Nuria at Bainrose Castle Library. Nuria is a knight from a family that has served Nicholas's household for 20 years. She pulls out copies of past exam papers pulled directly from the academy archives, a resource only wealthy, well-connected students can access. Miriam feels the unfairness of it sharply, but she is grateful for the chance to study properly. They work late into the night, and over dinner Nicholas talks about the changing world. My Arvite fossil deposits and spell engine factories are reshaping the balance of power across the continent, and he urges Miriam not to limit herself to opening a small shop after graduation. She can hear the soft patter of rain outside, but rain has no business falling inside a first-floor dorm room. When Miriam walks back to her dorm under the light of the 2 moons, she makes an unwelcome discovery. The housing staff never came to fix the leak. The tin basin she left on her bed has overflowed, soaking her sheets and mattress. She and Lily spend hours plugging the hole with clay and drying the mattress with heat spells. By the time they finish, it is well past midnight. Exhausted, Miriam falls asleep almost immediately, but she does not rest peacefully. She drifts into a vivid, terrifying dream. She races through twisting, underground labyrinths, soars high above the entire continent, then finally lands before a vast, twisted temple of impossible geometry. At its center, atop a throne of black marble, perches a colossal writhing being made of innumerable wings, unblinking eyes, and rows of sharp fangs. 50 sword-like spikes pierce its body, oozing thick, black blood. She tilts her head upward and finds a tiny, eerily smooth hole in the ceiling. All at once, every one of its mouths opens, and a cacophonous roar fills the chamber. The flood of disjointed images sears through Mirian's mind, and white-hot agony explodes inside her skull. She screams at the top of her lungs, and with a sharp, gasping breath, She wakes up again. It looks exactly like a bullet hole, except it has pierced straight through 3 full floors and the roof above, without growing any wider. It has even gone clean through her duvet, yet left no mark, no wound on her skin.